morning, good afternoon, good evening. May Jesus Christ bless you. Happy new financial year. To be honest with you, that kind of feels like what the last 14, 18 months was all about, to be honest with you. It was, what can you get done before the 30th of June that just went? And mine came down to the very wire. I was on eBay at 9 o'clock on the 30th of June, contemplating is there a particular tool that I was after. Anyway, here's what it is. That particular tool was pretty much, that would just be a cherry on the cake of all other things. Look, in a really good place. I think the Lord really made that last week something interesting as well. I had my pressure washer breakdown. I had to buy a new one of those. My firefighter pump that I get water with, well, its casting cracked in half. Maybe it was the frost, or maybe it was the Lord saying new beginnings. Anyway, 2 new pumps. I wake up and I'm like, the pump in the house, it won't shut down. I'm like, is there something wrong with the pump? And I was like, surely it's not the hot water system. Anyway, I walk outside, this is at 3 o'clock in the morning, back courtyard's flooded. The side of it had blown out. So that morning I had to go and get a new hot water system and install that. Isn't it good having a plumber on site, eh? Anyway, so just, I think I bought 7 pumps in the last fortnight. Isn't that unreal? Anyway, so that's where the last fortnight's been at. So it's been a while. It's been over a month since we've done anything conversation-wise with videos. And I don't want to make this too long. We're going to keep it reasonably brief. I just have a few things I want to touch base with you. First of all, open doors and how they can covertly be there, and it's your job to honour your own truth, and through honouring it you will sniff the open door and have the ability to cut it off at the limb so it is never an issue again. Anyway, so I had an open door and I was blind to it, but I knew that with this open door it was slowly but surely almost sending me to the bloody loony bin, honestly, because it was beyond absolute futility what was going on. Anyway, and it was all being innocently done until it was recognised that through that innocence, that was the covert trick that was being used for the open door. Anyway, so I want to give you what I saw, so you may be able to pick that up in your life, so you can slam this door shut and cut it off at the limb as well. So, in my little world, look, I don't really want to talk about individuals specifically because I don't want to bring that up to the surface to stop, like, point out who is who. We don't need to do that. Let's just say that there were individuals and they were running facts off opinion, and everything was just a vague, blasé, absolute futile opinion. There was no research, there was no science behind it, there was nothing. It was just, this is what's going to happen. Just complete and utter gibberish, jargon and garbage, right? So that's what these individuals were running off. And these individuals that were doing that, they were actually putting my health, safety and well-being in danger regularly. I've sustained an injury out of this, and it's going to take 12 months to recover. You know, Hathor, the mountain, how he had a bicep tear. I had something very similar around that time, and it was through rogue behaviour that this happened, and I could take it to court. I'm not going to, but I've got an injury in my shoulder, pec, and bicep, the whole lot, and I don't think it tore, I just think it got strained to the nth degree. But when I do flex, my pec isn't the same shape on the other side, so there's a concern there. It's healing all right, I've got functional movement, but I'm back in the gym. I've been in the gym for a month, and it's just gently, because it hurts with basic weight. But if we don't do basic weights to start getting the body to adapt to a new environment, we don't need to atrophy either. So gently, it's going to take 6 to 12 months to get back on track. It is what it is, right? That's just one of the many things that happens with these opinions, right? So back to the opinions. I'm running off opinions without any facts or science to back it. That's what was going on with individuals, and it was a collective, right? Now the problem is where the open door for me was, I cut these individuals off completely. The open door for me was second-hand shit. So there's nothing worse than someone that talks shit. You'll get sick of shit talkers pretty quick. But it's the second-hand shit which becomes dribbled shit, which is actually even worse than the shit itself. And you don't know this, but you may not see this, but there may be someone in your life that's dribbling that second-hand shit to you, and that second-hand shit, which has been recycled through them, and it's coming out as absolute, flamboyant garbage. That garbage is actually the direct attack that you may not have been aware of. So what I could perceive out of this garbage was narratives. And for me, the only narrative is Jesus has got the show and we're running with what the Lord is up to. Great. And everything's turned out fantastically for myself, but it was just rolling with common sense, having a look at the seasons and just, situationally having an awareness and just understanding the way things are the way things are. And I kept coming up against, like the boy who cried wolf. Panic. Fear, panic, just, this is how, we're all going to, the sky is falling. And so for months I've been coming up against the sky is falling, right? Now, so I shut off the ones that were saying that the sky was falling because the Lord's like, you got to get on with getting on. But the problem is I had one individual that still had the ability to be in contact with me, and they were relaying that they were saying that the sky was falling. And I had to sit this individual down and actually be pretty clear about, look, I can't believe I'm going to say this to you. It is what it is. I don't really take any politics seriously because until someone can explain why there's 40 to 50, 60 cloud seeding trails above me every single day for the past 2 months, you know that it's all a load of shit, right? But just for transparency's sake, there was a little bit of news that came up about Albanese where he was not going to respond to something that it was a Miss Hanson said because it's not worthy of a Prime Minister's response, right? And you can sit there and think to yourself, well, that's arrogant, but what was funny was somehow that got placed in my lap because I needed to see in my own situation there is relevance in what was just being said there. And what it comes down to is when you live in a world where everyone's running off opinions and how their feelings feel, and my feelings are hurt now, so I'm offended, and it's like, well, hang on, what are the facts? The conversation that I had to have with this individual was, what is the position that we're at right? I like position statements. Where is our position? And instead of getting them to go away and give me a statement of position, where are we at right now? Where are the facts? Do a SWOT analysis if need be, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. No, don't need to worry about that because we're not even in competition. We've just got a job and we need to get it done and we're up against the elements, right? So I pragmatically had to walk through this, the sky is falling, and I'm like, but, or the boy who cried wolf, and I'm like, so the sky's not falling and there's no wolf. And I kept getting more hateful things happening to me, but I'm like, the sky's not falling and there's no wolf. And the Saturday that just went, I hit the absolute end of the road with it because I was like, there's just absolutely no sky falling and there is absolutely no wolf. And these individuals are running mad at the moment, or almost to the point where they're about to just lose their mind crying that there is a wolf and that the sky is falling. But it's just nowhere to be seen, right? So the problem is the person that I spoke to has been enabling these individuals. So I want to bring it back to just basic psychology here. You can cut off a narcissist, right? And we're just going to look at it from that perspective. You want to know who's just as dangerous as the narcissist? The enabler. The enabler is the one that's enabling the narcissist to do what it is that the narcissist does, right? But not only that, the enabler... How about that for confirmation, eh? The enabler will not just enable that narcissistic behaviour. They, as they're enabling it, will sit there and think that somehow you've got to sit there and listen to what they've enabled. So you've got a double dunk that you've got to do here. You've got to cut off the source, which is the narcissist, but the actual source is the enabler, who is the covert narcissist next to the narcissist, who is the one that's actually holding it all together, who is relaying all the bullshit to everyone, who is doing all the troublemaking, and at day's end is the actual cause of all the effects. So, once I recognised that the enabler is even more dangerous than the narcissist themselves, I cut that limb off on Saturday night. And let's just say this. I don't think I've felt so much peace in my life until right now in this life. I slept quietly, I've had nothing but peace. I feel like they had an open extension in the spirit out, which was allowing that garbage to keep spewing on me. But I've just been in peace and quiet and just bliss for the last few days now. So I thought that was interesting for you. And we talk about the spirit of gossip or relaying messages or whatever, and I'm just like, honest to goodness, if you're trying to run a professional, upright, astute operation, I'm not trying to be rude here, but unless you're in for being an NDIS supporter, you will have the department to support that type of employee. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're dealing with a major operation, you can't have those types of opinions flooding you when you're trying to run a professional operation. So I had to, in no uncertain terms, let the enabler know that there's no more filter. You're not filtering any garbage to me anymore. You're being cut off. I don't want to hear anything that you've got to say about what it is that they've got to say. If you want to enable them, that's your business. It's your consequence for what you're enabling, but I'm no longer a part of what it is you're enabling. Now, if they get in my way because you're enabling it, well, you're now the problem, and you're the source, and you will be the one that I'm dealing with directly. So, that's where I'm up to at that situation. I just wanted you to know that sometimes you need to deal with the enabler because they're the ones that, in fact, are allowing the narcissist to do what it is that the narcissists do. So you've got to find the source, and when you get to the source, I have uprooted this one and chucked it in the fire. There's no limb left. There's nothing. There's no roots. There's nothing. It's got chopped down at the base. And here's to new beginnings. Here's to a fresh life, because I had to go through that process, honouring my truth, to then see it that what's worse than someone that talks shit? Someone that's really relaying shit. Relayed shit is dribbled shit. So maybe you know someone that's been dribbling shit, and you need to cut that off at the source, and you need to hold a standard. That's gossipy. That's just low malignant crap. And you've got to hold a standard, like I was saying, it's not worthy of ministerial response. You've got to actually know your value and recognise that opinions have no place within your playing field. Unless your playing field has captain to my captain, statements of position, what are the facts, the rest of it's just dribble. It really is. And it gets you nowhere, and it causes nothing but confusion, chaos, and stumble. So there's that. Next, lighter and brighter. We're in a new month of July right now, and I just want to talk about sometimes, well, not even sometimes, but How is it that the Lord can make us feel lighter and brighter, and all of a sudden things seem clearer? Well, here it is. So, what if you've been using your vacuum cleaners and your pumps and everything's due a service? So all of a sudden you clean out all the filters in your water systems. You put a new bag in your vacuum cleaner. You get out your pressure cleaner. You clean all your patios. You clean your vehicles. You get out your vacuum cleaner. You clean all the floors. You mow the lawn. You give your vehicle oil changes. You give all your vehicles new oil. Crisp, clean. You clean out the filters in your vehicles. You get a new shower head for your shower. Like me with the hot water system, I actually feel like the water's boiling different because it's actually clean hot water now. Lighter and brighter. Don't be surprised if the lighter and brighter new beginnings that you get sits within the replacement of, filters and pumps and storage tanks. New beginnings. And with this, how it allows you to function at a higher level because things are clean and crisp and, back to what you would call brand new. Anyway, that's enough for now. Jesus loves you. May the Holy Spirit guide you. May the Father bless you. And may you have a fantastic day. Bye for now.